if you missed out. So this is Manga Monday episode 4. For anyone who hasn't joined us for one of these before, I go over 3 different manga titles that I recommend. Let me go ahead and here we go. I use Amazon because I can show you a nice clear picture and then I can actually scroll through some pages. I used to do this like just with physical books, but this is actually way easier for you guys to be able to see. So my first recommendation today is I Hear the Sunspot. I've only read volume 1 of this, but I've only heard good things about the rest of the series. So I'm at least going to recommend volume 1 to you. This is a boys love title. It is rated 13 and up, so this is a pretty chill one. This particular one is very interesting. So we have Kohei here and Tai Chi, and Kohei is hard of hearing. His hearing is mostly gone. He does wear, hearing aid. Kohei is particularly loud. His voice carries very well. So Kohei actually is more able to understand a lot of what Tai Chi says, as opposed to most regular people. He lost his hearing suddenly the summer between middle school and high school, and so he's not always been mostly deaf. But yeah, so they meet. Tai Chi here is, he's always trying to get a job because he's not very wealthy and he's hungry, and he like falls through this fence onto a metal rooftop and he's like, what the heck? And he sees this guy sitting on the roof eating his lunch and he's like, what the hey, who are you? And he's like, oh my gosh, your lunch looks so delicious. And he's like, here, have my food. And then he just walks away. And Tai Chi's like, what? But free food, yay. And then he finds out, he talks to some classmates. They're in college, university. He finds out who he is through some classmates and finds out that he's mostly deaf. And then he sees his name on the note taker wanted list. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, note takers, that's exactly what they are. They're note takers for other university students who can't hear well. And so the note taker takes notes for the disabled individual, and then that way the disabled individual has notes for class. But yeah, so Tai Chi's like, hey, let me be your note taker. And they agree to do it in exchange for lunch. Like, it's a volunteer position. But hey, and this is him returning his lunchbox. He's like, hey, here you go, man. Yeah, he's like, you should let me be your note taker. And he's like, okay, I'll bring you lunch. But anyway, it's really interesting. I find any manga about disabilities or minorities super interesting. Mostly because really, really good ones have a lot of research done for them. But I really enjoyed this one so far. I can't wait to get more of it, but I have to wait. If I wasn't going out of town this week, I would probably go get the next 4 volumes right away. But yeah, I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Fumino. This is put out by One Piece Books. I do believe that another standalone, it's funny because you have like a series and then it has a couple standalones. But I heard that there is another volume that has just been licensed here in the United States, so we should be getting a 6th volume of this soon. So I'm pretty excited about that. The next one we're going to talk about is one that I just read. Again, I've only read volume 1 of this, So I'm just recommending volume 1. But I've heard nothing but good things about the rest of the series. I actually picked up this series off of a recommendation from someone else that I follow on all social media platforms that she's available on. Her name is Laura. I will probably go ahead and link her channel because she's super cool and has really, really great recommendations. She specializes in shoujo and josei. And then, but this is cool because this is a seinen, and what a lot of people don't know about seinen is, seinen is written, by adult males, obviously, because manga is written by males. Point being is it's written by males for adult men. Not like how shonen is written for young men. Seinen is specifically written for the older demographic of men. And this particular series is often mistaken as a josei, from what I've heard from multiple people who have read it and recommended it. A lot of people think it's a josei because the female is written so well, and she really is. I was really, really impressed. I actually just read this one 2 nights ago. Okay, so this is a seinen romance. As I was saying, a lot of people mistaken it as a josei because of how well the female perspective is written in this particular title. And I, after reading volume 1, I agree. I would not have realized that this was not a josei. So this is a romance written for men. A couple of other examples of romances written for men are like My Dress Up Darling, Rent a Girlfriend. I had another really prominent one that I can't think of all of a sudden. But yeah, those are written by men for men, often mistaken as josei. But yeah, so you have this girl who she has always been really sweaty in her life, and it's made her very subconscious. And she works for this soap and cosmetics company that she loves because they make really great soaps, and they've always, helped her feel a little bit better about herself and given her a little bit better confidence. And she's looking at the new soap lineup. She's like, oh yeah, so good. And she meets this guy from the product development team, and he's got like a super sniffer, and he's like, what the heck is that smell? It's amazing. And she's like, what? You mean you smelled me? Oh no. And he's like, I must sniff you more. And it's super kind of a weird premise at first. Hello, Filipino. Hi, welcome in. And he's basically like, I have to come up with the new winter line of soaps. I haven't had any inspiration. Your scent's really amazing and it inspires me. I need to sniff you every day for the next week. And she's like, what? Okay. So he does, and then he has his presentation, and she's like, well, I guess that's it then. And they're like, no, I would like to keep seeing you. This has been really fun. Basically, they they start to date, and this is actually was originally supposed to be a one-shot, and it was so well received that it became a whole series, which I think is like 10 or 12 volumes. But yeah, so I highly recommended this if you like romance. This was really fun. This one is older teen. It's 16 and up. It does get a little spicy. So it is not for all ages. All right. And our last recommendation for this Manga Monday episode is going to be another boys love title. This one is called I Cannot Reach You. This one is also only 13 up, just like I Hear the Sunspot. This is a childhood friends to lovers story. It's also a slow burn story, but you have Kakeru and Yamato, who have been friends since elementary school. They are now in high school, and Kakeru is a little dense, and he's super average. He's not like really good at anything except for like talking to people. He's really good at talking to people. His best friend Yamato, everyone thinks is like really intimidating. They're like, oh, he's so cool, but thinks he's better than everyone else and blah, blah, blah. But truth is, he's just actually kind of shy and doesn't talk to people well. So this is Yamato. But he's like forever had his secret crush on his best friend Kakeru. And yeah, it's really sweet. This has 4 volumes so far. Volume 5 comes out in December. This is a slow burn, FYI, but it's really good. I like it a lot. Like, I like this one a lot. I highly recommend. For a little while, Volume 2 was really hard to get a hold of, but it is now more readily available, so the best time to start the series is now. But yeah, guys, that is my Manga Monday episode 4. Thanks so much for joining. Let me know if you guys pick up any of these titles or if you've read any of these titles. You know, feel free to comment. I'd love to talk about it. And yeah, we'll have another episode next week.